Good morning, St. Louis! I'm back with another episode in another new donut shop on the STL Donut Tour. This week I'm visiting a brand new locally owned donut shop out in Eureka called Silver Spoon Donuts and Treats. Silver Spoon has been spreading joy for just about a month now, but the positive buzz in the community is already unmistakable. One of the things I love about Silver Spoon is how they have right from the start gotten involved in supporting other local businesses. I also love how they make their donuts all by hand from scratch. So many amazing styles and toppings to choose from. Now let's take a closer look at those donuts. Starting off today, we have the classic Glazed Yeast. This is a beautifully plump, lightly golden, and heavily glazed donut. It has a rich, yeasty flavor with a soft, hearty chew. It's a solid, no-nonsense donut that hits the spot without unnecessary frills. Up next, we have a chocolate iced cake donut. One of my personal favorites, this donut has a soft, buttery yellow cake base with a thick, sweet chocolatey icing. The cake itself is perfectly balanced with a golden outer crust and pillowy inner cake. Comfort in a bite, this is an all-around reliable donut and you should get two. After that, we have another delectable cake donut, the Glazed Devil's Food Cake. They have a nice variety of cake donuts available, so there are plenty to choose from, but don't skip the Glazed Devil's Food. Another beautifully soft cake donut with a moist and chocolatey cake and a sweet cocoa flavor. I love how thick their glaze is here, and it fits perfectly with these cake donuts. Next up is another perfectly balanced cake donut, the Glazed Old Fashioned. The cake is super soft and creamy with an almost citrusy tang to it. Beautiful texture and flavor. I found another one of my favorites here. I have loved all the cake donuts here today and would recommend you get at least two of each. Coming up next is a beautiful Bismark from Silver Spoon, the chocolate iced custard filled. I am just loving their icings. So thick, rich, and flavorful. The Bismark has a nice yeasty flavor and dense chewiness, while the custard is sweet and creamy. A great combination of flavors and textures with a good amount of filling and a thick icing is always a winner. After that is another filled Bismark, the Glazed Strawberry Jelly Filled. Their yeast donuts are fat and flavorful, and with the addition of this tasty jelly, you can't go wrong. The jelly has a light, airy texture with a sweet, fruity flavor that pairs well with the yeasty, sweet Bismark. Such a good chew and a healthy amount of filling really help make a good jelly donut. Following that is a gorgeous caramel iced Long John. It just glowed when I saw it in the case, so I had to get this donut. Like the other yeast donuts, it has a full hearty chew to it. Breaking it open, it has an almost bread-like texture. The rich, yeasty flavor is delicious, but the real star of the show is that caramel glaze. So thick and rich with an out-of-this-world flavor, it is a beautifully consistent and flavor-packed icing that doesn't disappoint. And now a pair of fritters from Silver Spoon. First up is a classic apple fritter. This one is fat and fluffy with a thick sugary glaze. Breaking it open, we find swirls upon swirls of cinnamon and a rich cinnamon smell. The flavor is deliciously reminiscent of cinnamon rolls, but I'm not really tasting the apples. I can see some tiny diced apple bits, but their flavor is kind of lost in the sweetness of the glaze and the fat fluffy dough. While the cinnamon swirls delight, I was missing that apple goodness here, and that could be remedied with some larger apple chunks. And lastly, we have a caramel apple fritter. I had to try their amazing, thick, rich caramel icing all over one of these soft, pillowy fritters, and I was in heaven. This one had more apple flavor to complement the caramel. I saw more apples and tasted the apples more, so that was definitely a plus. I think this was the best of the two and really enjoy their caramel icing. Thanks for joining me on this week's tour of Silver Spoon Donuts and Treats in Eureka. If you're around the area, I recommend that you stop in and grab some of their delicious donuts or some locally roasted coffee from the Orange Couch. I'll be wrapping up the donut tour soon with episode 100, but first, I've still got a few more places around St. Louis that sell donuts I haven't tried yet. Next week, I'll be back in Jefferson County at a place famous for its mile-high pies. Until then, everybody, keep looking for the gateway to the West through fried dough. Have a great day.